Hello everybody, Nigel here with you again, and it's Saturday the 25th of July 2020, and I think this is going to be going out as a premiere. Let's see how we get on for time. So basically in this video we're going to cover the HpH 1/48 scale B-52H Stratofortress, and we're going to look at one of the wings, the surface detail and everything, and we're going to have a look at the fuselage and look at the shapes and the accuracy and the surface detail and basically the quality of the product. And then I'm going to delve into box one, which is engines and external parts and engines. So that's going to be tailplanes, fins, stuff like that. So this is all going to be sort of major airframe stuff, all stuff that's really visible on the model. And let's see how far we get. My intention is to do the whole lot. Sod it, we probably will just do the whole lot. So right, if this is a premiere, then please, whichever side it's on, I can never, add some comments, have a little chat. I'll respond as much as I can, and we'll go from there. So I'll be sat with a can of beer, watching myself, listening to myself rabble on with my squeaky little voice and waffling, and yeah, I'm answering you guys. So let's start off by looking at this fuselage. And as some of you will know already, I'm doing a lot of work with these B-52 incorrect nose shapes for the HpH. No, the model collect kit. Here's what I've got to, and some of you will be pleased to know this section of the nose, the underbelly, is currently being moulded as we speak. Making the silicone mould, so we're away. And I can tell from looking at this, because I've looked at pretty much nothing else for the last 4 or 5 days, is this nose looks pretty much spot on. It may be a little bit blunt. I think it may need a little sharpening up here, but that's nothing too much. So anyway, my dog's trying to get something out of the bin. So there we go. So this is the fuselage, as you can see, and we've got a lot of detail here which is lacking in pretty much all of the kits. We can see here we've got this stiffener here, which when I do my nose I intend to add this as plastic card afterwards, and just like HpH had done, I'm going to leave the EVS pods off the side so that the modeler can actually put them on top. Hang on a second. Sorry, I had to pause there. Jess was trying to get some out of the bin. I don't know what it was. Anyway, so yeah, so we've got this external detail here, which they've included, and it really is a very crisply, beautifully moulded part. You can see we've got some sanding marks in it, but I mean under a coat of matte paint that's not going to show. But I'm going to get up here close, and I want to show you all the. Try and get it as good as I can. You've got all the rivet detail there on all the panels. We've got all the knucker duct detail there. There's knucker duct detail there. I believe you cut all this out and they've got resin parts to go in there. But you can see there's the stiffener on the side. The fact that it's glossy and grey doesn't help itself very much. And then we've got locations for our antenna bits and pieces here. We've got the cutouts here for the angle of attack correction on the tailplanes, something which is completely missing from the model collect kit. So that's something else I'm looking at doing. We've got the 40-inch extension on here, and then we've got what was the gun bay and everything on the back, and you can see we've got the stiffener along the bottom here, so that's nice and correct. And then there's a load of other stiffeners and stuff to go on, which are made out of photo etch, so that'd be really nice. And we can see in here, I showed you in the first video, the actual fiberglass matte laying is really nice. These guys deserve a medal for how neat they get it. And it is fairly thin, it's fairly light, so you know, you don't end up with the huge scale thickness plastic like you do with a injection molded kit. You get this nice thin edge, which is, you know, it's nothing like scale, but it's a lot closer to scale than in a 2mm thick piece of plastic would be. And then on top here you can see we've got detail there for the refueling hatch, and then we've got locations here for the antennae, and then we've got here, there's the location for the ejection hatch in the top, and then we've got ejection hatches in the bottom as well, and they're provided as photo etch. If you remember, go back to my last video where I covered the instructions and the photo etch and everything. So there we go. Again, we can see we've got all that rivet detail on there. If I can catch it in the light and get the camera to focus, there we go. Now, it's a little seam line down the middle to sand and fill, but that's nothing. So yeah, overall really impressive and very light. I mean, I have got some scales here. I'll weigh it and let you know. So yeah, that fuselage, 235 grams. And then we've got the wing here, which I've also weighed. This is 300 grams, basically because if we look down inside, we can see there's a stiffener in there. And this has obviously got to be a bit more rigid. Now, I'm looking along this wing. It's too big for me to show you, but it has got a slight droop in it. So if you wanted to build this as a flying model, I think you may struggle with the accuracy. You may want to do some adjustments or whatever, but it looks like it's got a very slight droop in it at the end, which is correct. We've got all the detail on here. Again, we can see. I wonder if I turn this light down a bit or even turn it off. Might make things better. There we go. So we've got the light on the side now. You can see we've got the all the surface detail on there. Again, we've got all the riveting. No, that's not working, is it? All the rivet detail and everything in there. So really, really nice. And then we've got these vents under here. They're all cut out for us, which must have been a nightmare to cut out. And then the wing wheel, that there is cut out for us neatly. And then this one's got the flaps all cut out, obviously because I've got the extra flap set. Now, if you don't get the flap set, I believe the wings come uncut. I certainly know that on the website it says if you order the flap set, the wings will come pre-cut. So I'm assuming if you don't, they don't. And then we've got all the lovely detail on the bottom here, the hatches, access panels. Lots and lots of it, really, really nice. And also probably very much to scale. I mean, these are lighter than the panel lines in the model collect kit. If we have a look here, we can see these panel lines here in the model collect kit are a lot heavier than them. So, you know, it's much more to scale. And you can see on here we've got all these tiny, if I can pick it up in the light. There we go. You see across here we've got these tiny indentations, and that's where all your photo etch vortex generators are going to go. And I would probably suggest drilling them. That they're probably not deep enough. They probably need to be drilled. So yeah, have some fun with that. Bloody hell. So yeah, really, really nice. So that's the fiberglass parts looked at. Let's have a look in this box. Right, so here we go. This is the box one. If you saw my initial review, or if you know this kit, you'll know that basically you get fuselage, 2 wings, and then you get a load of boxes with all the other bits and pieces in. So if you haven't seen my previous video, go take a look, and you'll see it all in there. So this one is box one. External parts and engine, and I haven't looked in here myself yet, so this is great for all of us having a look together. So let's first of all have a look in here. So we've got, let's get this out of the way. So we've got a bag here of engine parts, all looking lovely, and I've actually done a load of these myself for the G engine and done a video on it. So yeah, really, really nice. Beautifully moulded. Again, I mentioned this before, this thin sheet, the idea of it is it's this thin sheet is basically designed so you can just put it on a flat surface, rub it away until it just disappears, and then you've got no mold plugs or anything to cut off or anything. I really like the way they do this. It's really good. If you look at their Catalina kit, it's got loads of ribs on the same thing, so you just basically rub it on a piece of wet and dry, wet obviously, so you don't get the dust. You don't have to wear a mask or anything, and if it's wet you won't get any dust, and you just rub it away until the part appears with no backing on it. Same here with these stators, and then you've got the compressor blades. You rub away with them, and basically nothing will appear. Basically you'll come through to fresh air, so you'll be able to see through it all. Not so sure about the compressor blades. If you rub them away, you could keep sanding them until they become hollow, but you may end up with being too thin and they might be very weak. But we can look at that. Maybe I'll make a mould of one of these and try it out. But there we go. So there's our compressor blades, there's our turbine blades, and then we've got our tail cones on the back there. We've got the intake cones there, and there's our jet exhausts there. So that's really, really nice. I actually want to do this same sort of setup for the model collect kit, because those engines are a bit of a mess. And then we've got the same here, another lot of those. So obviously it broke up, so they bagged it all up separately for me. So that was very good of them. So that's that little lot. Next up we've got a bag here which is quite heavy, and this is full of engine pylons. Now, one thing I am wondering, I'm not sure if the H had it, but the one pylon is different. Apparently number 2 pylon has an exhaust on it or something. So here we can see this is all the scrap material on here, so this is all going to be cut away. All this right here is going to be cut away. So you've got 2 pylons which are longer in the back and pointier, and then 2 pylons which are like this, and one of the pylons has an exhaust or something here, and this doesn't appear to have it. Now I'm thinking these are probably 4, yeah, that's 2, 3, that's 1, so there it is, it's 4 there, so they are different. So you've got 4 different actual pylons, and they're beautifully cast. There's no bubbles or anything. We've got a little lump on there. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be there, if it goes into the engines. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But all this, as I say, is all going to be cut away, and then this is going to fit up into the wing. So yeah, really, really nice. Lots of sanding required, lots of finishing, and but there's some beautiful panel lining on there. Get you close up, you can see that. Really, really nice, and no work to do on the leading edge because it's all just moulded for you. So there we go, lovely. So there, that's those 4. So they're really nice. Then we got some big bits and pieces here. Now this is the vertical fin. Oh my God, weighs a ton. I wonder if this model will become a tail setter with this on it. Wow, let's see how heavy this is. I can't believe how heavy that is. That is 100 and, sorry, why did it say 120? Are my scales shot or what? Oh no, it's sitting on there, that's the trouble. Right, so if I just place it on there like that, if I just lay it on there, that's the best thing. 155 grams. There we go. That little lump there was sitting on the edge. That's why the weight kept changing. Yeah, 155 grams. Jesus, that is really heavy. Bloody hell. So, but again, very solid. No air bubbles, no imperfections. That intake is gorgeous. If you look at that, that's really nice. The edges are really realistic. And we've got all the rivet detail and everything on there. Around the bottom. And then rivet detail around these panels. Really, really lovely. And they've got the shape right as well. Unfortunately, the Model Collect kit is a little bit too rounded on the top of the fin. But yeah, really, really nice. Lovely. And then we've got our rudder here, which is a separate piece. So that'll be posable. Get in there and get some nice shape going on in there for that to sit into. Tiny little rudder on a B-52. It's amazing how small it is. There we go. Again, Model Collect kit doesn't even have a rudder on it, so bit of a shame. But I'm sorry I keep referring to the Model Collect kit, but it's what I use as a reference for for issues. So here we go with the tail planes. And the tail planes, whoops, the box wants to fall on the floor. Tail planes really, really nice. Again, we've got these tiny little dimples for the vortex generators. I think there's 35 per side, and you've got 4 sides of them, so that's 140 to deal with. Oh yeah, but by God will it look good. More little dimples there, so I'm guessing we've got some more photo etch to go in there. But again, you know, this is tiny holes. Get in there with a 0.3 drill or something. And then again, we've got some lovely surface detail, beautifully scribed lines. Flash on the end, protecting that that outlet, whatever it is there. Was that a light housing? And then we've got these 2 lumps on here, and I did notice on the fuselage there's 2 little dimples you can drill out to put them in, or I guess you could have it floating, because in real life what it did, it changed the angle of attack to compensate for, you know, for weight, for the balance of the aircraft, so they would actually tip. And then the elevators, which unfortunately aren't separate parts. Having said that, the elevators appear to always be flat when they're parked on the ground. I've never seen one with them, you know, up or down. So that's okay. But yeah, lovely. And again, they weigh a ton. I mean, this back end of this aircraft is going to be ridiculously heavy. So there we go. And then we've got this little bag here. This is all our antenna and stuff. So I'm being screamed at to make this in resin for the 72nd scale. Now I've got no excuse, I've got patterns, haven't I? So let's just get this out and then we'll go through what it all is. So there we go. Now here we've got some ducts. These are the air conditioner intakes or whatever. They're intakes. They're going to go in the very inboard wing root. And we've got those little ducts I showed you earlier on. These are this is going to be, I'm not sure where that one's going to go. I think these are around the nose. These are here for those two, and then we've got that one big one which I think goes further back in the fuselage, and then we've got the double one which again goes further back in the fuselage. So that's what they're for. Then this is your lump on top of your nose, your ECS, and then some little fairings there, not sure what they're for, some little bits and pieces. Here's some antenna bits and pieces here, and then the same there. So these are going to be the they're going to go on your tailplane like that. They're going to sit on there like that. So that's your swivels, your fairings to keep everything aerodynamic for your swiveling mechanism on your tailplanes. So that's that. So those two are the same. So there's your antenna and everything. So yeah, I need to try and make these in 72nd scale, which shouldn't be too difficult. And this here, this is your mounting for the tailplane, for the vertical fin. And I do just want to show you this picture because I mentioned this before in I think it was my first part of this review. There you go. There's the tailplane folded over, and it was done for maintenance. Okay, so you can see not a lot of people know that, but and you can see that lump I've just shown you is that there. See that lump there? And I'm not sure if that's a sort of shroud that hides the mechanism for folding it over or whatever, but I'm sure somebody will tell me, because there's some people on here, especially Harold, seems to know these B-52s inside out. I reckon he designed them or something. But yeah, everything I come up with, I'm not sure about that. He comes up with a response, and yep, I don't know if it's right. I'm sure it is, because it sounds so logical. So there we go. Right, so that's that little bag of bits. Then we've got another little bag of bits here, which is more bits and pieces of antenna and stuff. So there's more antenna bulges here, and then we've got some what look like propeller blades, but they are, I don't know what they are. They're some sort of these are the fairings for the sides of the fuselage. These are these bits here, that's them. I haven't got a clue what they are. These are the flares that go underneath, these things here. So we've got two of them, left and right. Got flares there, they're beautifully detailed. We probably get an option to have them either turn round so they're blank, or we can have them with the cameras facing outwards. There's another two of those things. I'm guessing they're going to go on the wings or something. And then there's your other side, your ECS pod there. So yeah, they are actually handed as well, because they've got like a cutout, a curve to them. So they're really lovely, all nice and cleanly moulded. If you look at those now, you can see lots and lots of detail on there. Really, really nicely done. So we'll just pop all these back in their little bag so they don't get lost, damaged, broken, swept up by wizards, eaten by the dog, blown away by a tornado. There we go. Right, here we've got a lump here. This is the lump that's going to go in the upper fuselage, and then your steel rod's going to go through there to support the wings. So that's going to take the weight of your wings and everything there. And now we're into this final bag of this review, and these are our engines. This is the bit you've been waiting for, and they look stunning. Now, if they've got these right, I think this will be the only B-52H kit on the market with correct engines, because the Model Collect ones aren't very good. The AMT ones are an absolute joke. So So there we go. So we'll just get one lot out. We don't need to get them all out. So we can see here we've got, this is the upper side of the engine. That's where our pylon's going to go on. And I remember in instructions they tell you to drill this and put a couple of metal bars in. Yeah, you've also got holes in here, so you can drill them and they'll actually match up. You don't have to just work out yourself where they're going to go. And then you've got all these slots around here. Again, they've got the holes in, and that's where your vanes are going to go. The vanes that go into the back of these ducts. Yeah, these vanes that go around here, they're going to be, they're made in photo etch. So yeah, lovely. Sorry, I had to pause the video there because the dog had a barking fit. And then down in here, which is a real nice touch, you've got the auxiliary air intakes down in there. I don't know if I can get the light in there. So down inside there, you've got all this flash on the front to cut away and then do some careful radiusing. But yeah, look at that down in there. Really, really nice. Absolutely beautiful. They're going to look stunning. But I'm not quite sure where they've moulded them like that, so you've got to clean the front up. I guess it shouldn't be too bad. It looks like it's going to be very thin. But that's going to take a bit of work. You don't really want to be messing that up. Make sure you've got your Mr. Servicer handy, just in case. And yeah, you've got that ridge around the centre there as well. And I don't know if you have to carry that on. That's going to be quite difficult. But yeah, maybe they tried to do it another way and it didn't really work out. But I guess they wanted to retain this thin area back here and this detail here. And the plainest end was this end, so I guess that's the way they've gone. These end of the engines are absolutely beautiful. Bit of clean up on there, remove those poor plugs there, and then that'll all go together like that. And then your pylon's going to sit on there like that. So you can see by the size of my hand, and I don't have particularly small hands, but you can see there how massive these engines are going to be. Okay, so make sure we're in shot. I mean, I can get this on here, measure this out. It is roughly 8 inches long, that assembly. So from the end of the engine to the back of the pylon, 8 inches long, and that's the shorter pylon as well. So yeah, no, it's not, it's the longer pylon, sorry. So yeah, 8 inches long, absolutely massive, and obviously there's 4 of those to cover 8 engines. As I say, you'd have your work cut out doing these, removing these poor plugs on there. But hey, we're modelers, you know, that's what it's all about. And I say there's nothing in this kit I don't like, and there's nothing I'm going to moan about. But that's going to be one thing I think is going to be a little bit difficult to accomplish. But like I say, we're modelers. If I can make stuff like this and cut it all about, I'm sure I can handle that. So anyway, there we go, guys. That's been our engines and fuselage, wing and external details. I just want to look at those compressors again, so you can imagine what that's going to look like down through there. Stunning, absolutely stunning. So there we go. Thanks for watching. If this has been a premiere, then I hope you've made some comments, and if it hasn't, then I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell. I'll see you all soon, guys. Bye for now.